Hey and welcome back to the channel. I was really fortunate to manage to interview an absolute legend of guitar playing, Mr. Ray Russell. Here it is. Ray, it's great to see you again.
Yeah.
Really good to see you. I have been wanting to interview you for weeks and weeks and weeks. You have basically worked with pretty much everybody in the guitar industry and in the recording industry, and I think really what I wanted to ask you was, I don't want to say who was your favourite to work with, because I guess that would be a really tricky question.
Yeah.
But I would like to know some of your anecdotes and some of the things that have really, well, made you enjoy your time in the music industry.
I think there's a lot of things that you enjoy. I mean, and it all ends up in a, it's a story. It's always fun, and the different people I play with, all sorts of, like somebody said to me about Julio Iglesias.
Wow.
And I said, well, I did a record for Julio Iglesias. I suddenly remembered, and I remember that was a lot of fun. He was, he was quite eccentric, and we had to go out, and dinner was at least 3 hours, and we were all going, well, shouldn't we be getting back and doing something? It was very funny. So things like that. I just like, we didn't play with him, and actually they were really nice sessions. It was okay. You have to have other values with like pop sessions, or if you like, commercial sessions, because it's that thing of, you might, obviously not go near it personally, but you have to be kind of genned up and ready to do it, because that's your job, and put something into it that will make it sound like it's that record, and your kind of sonic signature, if you like, it has to be on there.
Yeah. It
has to be something that people recognise you being on.
Something unique.
Yeah, something unique.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're asking you actually to produce a record that's got a very good chance of being a hit.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously, he writes really good songs. I mean, but to enhance what he's got there, and put it into like a format maybe. Just a few chords here and there.
Yeah.
Better harmonies, and it all kind of comes together.
Yeah, of course. Well, obviously you have a website, rayrussell.com, where all of the people you've worked with, you've listed pretty much all of them. I was really interested in talking to you about your experience with Gary Moore.
Gary.
Because Gary is one of my absolute heroes.
Yeah. Well, he's fantastic. We got together. I knew him years before, and I knew him also through the music school in Brighton, because he's sung there.
Right, yeah.
And I knew him before that, because we ended up on a gig together, not playing together, but we just were at the same place, and we were talking, and then we had this sort of charity gig, and I said, would you come along and do a signed guitar for us? And he said, what kind of stuff are you playing? I said, well, it's going to be fusiony stuff. Right. He said, so I won't have to sing all the hits. I said, well, you'll probably get away with everything but Parisian Waterways. You're gonna, I doubt if you're going to get away with that. He said, oh, I said that. He said, so I can play what I want then? I said, yeah, you can jam.
Wow.
And that was it. And he said, you're on. So we did that twice actually.
Wow.
That gig, and there are videos of it.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
I've got one. And in fact, you've got one on your website.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
We'll put a little ident in so you can see Ray playing with Gary.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's a great gig, and Mo Foster,
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was brilliant, and he just roared away like what he wants to do. He said, "No one ever asked me to play them. I can't with the band. It's very difficult, you know."
It's amazing.
Yeah, but he's a lovely guy, you know. He doesn't take fools gladly, or he didn't.
No, I've heard that of Gary.
Well,
that he's quite a not a temperamental guy, but he speaks as he finds.
He does,
or he did. I should say.
If a dumbass question comes out,
yeah,
then he'll say something not terrible, but just true. He's actually a softie, really.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
That really makes me feel good, because I always felt that he had a special soul, because of his playing, his technique and his playing always sounded so emotive.
Oh yeah, he's when he's in the pocket, he's there. Yeah, I mean, he just wants. The thing is, there's a lot of demands when you're, well known. It can get a real pain, and sometimes it just catches him on the wrong end of that Irish, kind of thing. Sorry, don't beat me out, every Irish person. But no, and he had that thing, and like I know he had it with the band,
Yeah.
Back in the day, that's why they used to get into, punch-ups and stuff, but it wasn't their fault. I mean, it was just. Anyway, he's a great guy. All he actually wants to do is just jam.
He wants to play.
Yeah.
Much like yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, when you are in the industry, when you're in the business,
yeah,
it is all about playing, and it's all about having your own vibe, having your own style, and making that come through in other people's records.
Yeah, I mean, you've got it apart from, the records I make, it's bound to be there because I'm writing everything. But if you turn up, I'll give you an example. This is an anecdote. I always think, about music and why you play it and why it's great. And I think session-wise, because this is what's happening in the 70s, 80s, and and a bit of the 90s. This is the greatest day in sessions for me, because of everything you had to do, the whole thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
So what we had to do then, if people kind of see this now, so up at 5 o'clock, and then there wasn't all that much traffic, but there was, but you could park outside the studio and put a thing in saying that you've broken down or you're delivering, and they will believe you, and nothing will happen. 3 hours, they couldn't bother. Not like now. That's a good. Anyway, you come out, do an 8 o'clock jingle.
Yeah.
So we did this 8 to 9. It was like a Coca-Cola jingle or some soft drink with fizz, and go on to this, got up to 9 o'clock. Fine, loved it. Final take went down to about 2 minutes past 9, and they're only like a minute, but 58 seconds with dial away.
Yeah.
So it's like it's cool. So it's a minute. So and then we were so busy we had to have 2 sets of gear. A guy called Terry used to come down and he did the sort of one of the first logistics sort of guys really. Wow. Used to come down and take your next lot of gear to the next session and that lot of gear to the third session. So
yeah,
he used to have to do all that, and it was quite a big deal. And in the end, there were 2 people doing it because it was just because of the drums and everything.
And that's how busy you were.
That's how. I mean, every day. I mean, I used to stay on the couch over to Roundhouse Studios, doing the thing with Andy Mackay there, and I used to have to leave a session at 10 o'clock and go over there and work until 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And by the time I finished, it wasn't worth me coming back.
Wow.
And my first wife will tell you all about it.
Just stay there.
Just stay there.
Wow.
They knew that the lovely secretary, she left pillows for me. She knew what it was going to be about. She left the pillows. And
I love it.
I know, she had them ready in the cupboard. It was so nice.
That is so funny.
Up you get, and then you're on. Yeah, it's a bit wild, really. I'm glad it calmed down a bit. Anyway, so that was 8 to 9, 10 o'clock Air Studios.
Yeah.
And then that was 10 to 5 with Andy Williams.
Oh wow!
Now, if you know anything about Andy Williams,
Great crooner.
Great crooner.
Yeah.
Now he's one of the older fellas. He likes it. It's all live.
Yeah. Oh wow!
I've
So the whole band live as well.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
And I got this tune. I get ready just about, and I'm just going. I can't think of the name of the arranger. Fantastic guy. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, the first tune was Days of Wine and Roses, and I got this thing up, and it's like, a couple of lines of flash.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I better just write down the names of those chords, because there's no point in. I mean, I could read, but not like the great readers.
Yeah.
They were the people went before, who would do, like, I don't know, the Prisoner and all those TV things.
Yeah.
But they just read them, Judd Proctor, Vic Flick.
Well, these guys, the American guys, weren't they? Who was it we were talking about when we did the interview about this guitar?
Not that guitar.
Which we'll come to. But there was a whole group of session players in the States, and literally they would be in and live.
That's the thing. You could just read it through, but read it through with attitude. So it sounded good. Just do it. Anyway, so Days of Wine and Roses comes the downbeat. That's always the sort of. So you put an arrow in my heart. Is this going to be the time when I go? He used to be good, that guy. No, he goes, ding, and I play, and I stop. Nothing else plays. He said, no, solo guitar, 16 bars, Days of Wine and Roses, and I went, Hardy my brown trousers. That's good. So anyway, it was okay. We did about 3 or 4 takes. I got a great, what I thought was good, and he liked me kind of sliding around and altering a bit.
Yeah.
Which is just as well. And then, because he came out of his booth, he said, I like that. He said, let's just do one more and try and get those bits together.
Yeah.
So I got, I read him, and he seemed to be good. And as I say, it was, so we did the thing. Orchestra came in. It was a nice take, so he was happy with that. And then I realised that the band had been there all week, but the only time I've had a guitar player in was on the Monday.
Oh.
And I thought, surely everyone else was busy, But he seemed to want someone that could update the idea of it.
Right, of course.
Which you can think is hard, but I guess I did it because I didn't quite know exactly how to play that thing really properly.
Okay.
I was at the on the break, I took the guitar up, as one does, goes up to the toilets, and you sit there, and it's like a breakfast.
Well, yeah.
Thought, I'll have a go at this. But it was alright. It was like flat. It was all the chords I knew. There's a few extra things, and so I decided to make those kind of like, I don't know, more passing chords, bends, and stuff. Just work out my own version of it, and he liked it. So.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, the key is if you play exactly what they want and it sounds very tight, and it's not gonna.
It's not always away.
It's not gonna swing, as they say. The old fellas like but it's not gonna swing. It's just not gonna glide. There's no flow.
Yeah.
Those ding 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 ding, and you can tell when it's not working.
Yeah.
And it sounds very awkward. So. This way it's good. Always get your own take on it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Anyway, 2 to 5. like I cheese your death once again, you know. out to the foyer for half an hour of, you know, being silly.
Yeah.
And then it was on. Then I went down to Ronnie Scott's.
Oh,
wow. An 8 o'clock rehearsal with Gil Evans.
No way.
The Gil Evans Orchestra, yes, well, all the way. And, you know, and it was like our opening night. This is a Monday, right? You know,
it's crazy.
It's fantastic, and it was all like, you know, big guns there like Lou Soloff and all those guys, and I thought, wow, this is going to be good, and that was fantastic. So played at 8, and I actually got out of there at 3 because it was so many encores, and all that. We were playing about 3, and I suddenly realised, although, you know, younger than I am now, I thought, it doesn't feel too bad to be that naked from 6 o'clock in the morning. You just don't realise.
No.
So anyway, my girlfriend, now wife Sally, met me, and we walked down to, and this is a great thing, right? Summer night, you know, people around. It's really safe. It's middle of town.
Yeah.
It's great, Soho. It's so okay, you know.
Yeah.
People say this and the other. It's worse now, you know. But then, you know, it was
safe.
Full of, you know, yeah. But no one approached you.
No.
They just kept themselves to themselves. And so I went down to CBS Studios, which is like 4 blocks down, really. Lovely studio, gone, of course, as many of them.
Shame, yeah.
Big shame. And I've been working with a band, one of the first sort of techno soul bands called Heaven 17.
I know them.
You know them, don't you? Right?
Yeah.
Well, I did a couple of albums. It might have been 3 with them. And Martin Ware wants to and Greg Walsh, the producer, wants to produce Tina Turner.
Wow.
So I got down there about 3:30, and Frank Ricotti, the younger player, just put a pass on, and they were the first people. They had a Fairlight. They were the first people that transferred stuff from Fairlight in sync, you know, from tape to before track, so they could play like a mix, you know, and then alter the parts around just on one finger. First thing that really allowed you to do that. Before the synclavier and all.
Yeah.
Or it was like a real. It looked like I don't know, just a white kind of piano. It didn't look sort of very flash or anything. No. Anyway, they were playing chorus, verse, chorus. Well, we'll do this on tape. So this is what, you know, a few fills. That's perfect for me because it was just a few fills. You know, a funk track.
Yeah.
Answer the vocal.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Great. Okay. So she goes in just to put a guide on.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it was just like first take. Had it.
Amazing.
You know, your hairs on the back of your neck. It's like,
yeah.
And she goes, I thought, my God, that's so fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, she had it all. You know, great singers, they don't need to have like loads of compression or anything. They just know how to work with the mic.
Yeah.
And they'll just go off slightly, or just to make it. It's all constant.
It's about getting the distance and turning your head. I've been teaching my daughter how to use the mic.
It's so important.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
So she did that, you know. I mean, she's got lungs like, you know, she could stop a ship out there. Like this, and they'd say, "Oh, it must be Tina." She's fantastic. She's lovely, you know. And then she sat down, one take. Oh no, they did one more safety take, which was just as good. I mean, it was, you know, I don't know. I couldn't.
Might
tell.
have even been the one that was used.
Yeah.
You never know.
I think the first part of the first thing was used because it was just so spontaneous. And yeah, maybe a couple of little bits in the verses.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and I did this as you would hear, because it's the old green number, and what we did, we put in minor sevenths in the original one, da, 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 on the chorus.
Yeah.
But replaced with minor ninths. So,
nice.
you know, and then it became a slight of like a bit like what's going on in the old green thing. So it all got into extensions of the. So you know, and then you know, funk thing, and then and that was great. That was fantastic, lovely. You know, enjoyed. You know, it was heavenly. 17.
I bet
it was good.
That all the session work, or most of the session work you've done, has been fun. Certainly fun. Obviously,
there's only two. I can only think of two that weren't.
Weren't.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because one other is sad, and that's to do with you know overtaking things. Ingesting, you know, fluids. In the old, you know, I mean, basically getting out of your crust.
Yeah.
And then, but being, you know, not being able to play and falling about and stuff. So I don't do that. So I'd sooner not, you know.
No, totally not.
I could, because in a way he kind of deserves it, I suppose. I would tell you one story.
Yeah.
I don't want to, will do me. So Marvin Gaye.
Oh, right, yeah.
I make no bones about it, Marvin Gaye. It was so funny that's why I'd say it only because he, at that time, earlier you were talking about the cutting crew, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, there was this sort of thing over the pond that said, hey, these guys in England are really good, you should come over and try them out, you see. Now, who's the top fixer in England, you know, music contractor?
Yeah.
Top fixer, as we call it. And it was Isabel Griffiths at the time.
Right.
Or it was, or was it Martin Ford? I'm not sure. I think this is Isabel. Anyway, it fixed this. And myself, Mo Foster, Simon Phillips, you know, Mike Moran. I mean, you know, good guys, you know. And she's saying, well, these are the, you know, creme de la creme of the English scene, you know.
Yeah.
Because we're not pushing ourselves, you know, the cutting crew or anything. We're just like, you know,
well, it's typical English reserve. Isn't it?
So
let's be fair.
We shouldn't be doing it because it just no one knows, you know.
Yeah,
it's crazy, really. But anyway, so 10 o'clock at Air, Studio One, lovely 50-channel Neve desk, always beautiful, you know. You know, the ring sounds great, harmonically lovely.
Yeah.
Set the thing up, the guy's got the mic. It's all the sounds already there, like it always is, you know. Because Simon's playing and there's like a double drum kit and stuff. It takes, you know, another half an hour just to get those bits done. He comes in with a song, which is a great soul song, like he's written, plays it through. I'm also, while I'm listening to it, I'm noticing at those stages you had an assistant engineer or a T-boy.
Oh, right.
AKA T-boy. Yeah. And he said, do anyone want a cup of tea? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have one. And so it was a bit kind of like, you know, dour, a bit you know, sad. So I realised though there were 4 or 5 very tall black guys standing around him.
Yeah.
And I thought, lawyers, managers, minders.
Really?
They were minders.
I thought they were backing singers.
No, you naive person. Backing singers in studios. That's so funny. No, well, yeah, we think everything else but that, right? So do a take. The engineer, Steve Churchyard, who's now, you know, does a lot of productions, and so okay, guys, he wants to do one more. Okay. Anyway, so by lunch, and we're still doing this one track. We ask, we can't come in the control room, so we're kind of doing so, well, is there anything that you want us to do that's, you know, we really want to try and get what you like, you know?
Yeah.
No, you just keep it and it'll be fine. And I looked at I said, you know, there's something about this, like he's just seeing how far we're going in. He says, don't worry, because, and then you kind of get, you know, you laugh a bit, which is good because you're loosening up. And get to 5 o'clock.
Still on the same track?
On the same track.
Oh my God.
I thought, I don't think I can play anything else this track, it's just going to get worse now.
Yeah.
And there was the thing, it says, we don't want to go to 6. Now, I had a 6 o'clock session with Andy Mackay doing, would you believe, I'll say this slowly and then I'll be embarrassed for Rock Follies.
Oh, right.
The album. But it was actually great. It's one of those albums you think, oh no. But actually, if you listen to it, there's some really good music on it.
Yeah.
Plus the fact, Island Records had to send all the staff down to the, remember it's vinyl then, record pressing plant because everybody loved it and it went gold.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
So, over the weekend, incredible. I mean, so Andy was, amazed and pleased, obviously. Yeah. No, that was funny. So, and I said, well, look, I'll have to make a call to make sure I can do it. So I phoned Andy and I said, I'm working with Marvin Gaye. He said, oh, showing off again, And I said, well, it's not quite what you think, actually. And he said, all right, I'll see you later. So, I mean, they're very loose about it. And my pillows are ready. So, got to 6 o'clock and still it wasn't happening.
Not right.
So we kind of had this little meeting between us and said, look, someone has got to go in there and say we've got to go.
Yeah.
So then there was this thing, what am I going to call him? Marvin, Mr. Gay. I don't know what to call him, Mr. Marvin. Oh, I'm so out of it, I don't know. So anyway, I knocked on the door because it's 2 doors, so
yeah,
nothing else. So I pulled that, the first one. Knocked on the second one. It's him. I'm like, and he says, look, what's wrong now? I said, well, we've been playing the same thing for like 6 hours, and I don't really think, I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think if you're not liking what you're hearing, we haven't got it. If you haven't got it by now. And he said, well, you might get it in another couple of hours. I said, well, the thing is, I can't do that. I've got to go to another session. I'll put it off for an hour. I'll come back later if you want. I was thinking, no, please, no. But thinking, I'll do that. Anyway, so there's silence and there's this sort of, this semicircle of geezers behind him. I'm thinking, what have I done? Anyway, he says, no, they were okay. I mean, it was nothing aggressive or anything.
No.
It was just they were there and they were quiet. It was, it's so weird. Anyway, he says, I tell you, he says, I'm going to make 5 phone calls to LA to make sure you never work in LA again. That's presupposing I had, for a start. And so, my friend Mo, who's a bit taller than me, he just leans over my shoulder and he says, why not make it 6 calls?
Oh no.
Back up, the door shuts. That's it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm afraid, it's a shame because I love Mum and stuff. So I would never connect the two.
So he was quite difficult to work with.
Well, he was that day. I mean,
yeah.
I think the two, used to go.
Was he a perfectionist, do you think? Do you think that's what it was, or do you think the track just wasn't that great?
Well, I actually think, and other people think this, the other guys think that he wanted to try like a different rhythm section.
Right.
He wanted to see what it was like over here.
Yeah.
People have these kind of strange whims,
Yeah.
And I mean, there was times it was really rocking. It was going great, but it might not have been
his style.
Yeah, right for him,
Yeah. No, it's very often the way, and also when he's been so used to playing with American guys, it's going to sound very different.
It's going to sound different.
Brits in it.
Well, the thing is, Brits, yeah, it's all funky, you know, and it's, but you know, there is that kind of tension, but you know, I don't know, it's British. It's a little bit more rock, you know, of a rock element in it. You wouldn't think of it. You could play perfect funk, you know, and it would sound fine, but your sound might not be, you know, it might be a little bit more forceful or something.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I mean, he just didn't. He just
didn't gel with it.
Didn't gel, but it's so funny, you know. Yeah. Why not make it 6? I couldn't laugh. I had to kind of turn around. I was just gonna do, you know, just come out of it.
But it didn't affect your ability to work with amazing plethora of loads of other people.
It's a shame I lost that one because I really would have liked to have done.
Because it would have been on a Marvin Gaye track, for sure. I'm sure. You worked a lot with Handmade Films.
Handmade Films.
Oh, you've got it on. There we go. Yeah, Handmade Films. There we go.
Well, Handmade was that was Ray Cooper.
Yeah.
Percussionist, great friend of mine.
Yeah.
You know, great friend. I haven't seen him for ages, but he does tend to, you know, drop off. He's one of the few people I know that you just can't get in touch with.
Really?
If you don't want to. But you know, he goes everywhere. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So when Handmade Films got together with George.
Yeah.
You know, both said, both Ray and Mike Moran, the pianist, who was doing a lot of the writing.
Incredible pianist as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we got the rhythm section together.
Yeah.
For all the films.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, someone else did one. I think someone else did one, but we did most of them.
Yeah.
And it was great.
And that was how you ended up with the fretless, of course.
Well, that was. I don't play this very much, and it's a bit kind of this and that. But once you have a go, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, don't take anything for granted.
And I'm sure George was an absolute star, a really nice guy.
Yeah, very underestimated.
Yeah. Oh, so underestimated as a guitar player.
Yeah, he play anything, you know, as well. He just come out with it, but it's always picking up an instrument, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're all like, you know, they're all string instruments in his house. He'll pick it up and he'll play it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my favourite Beatles tracks were George tracks, because he just had that knack of writing a really, really good track.
Yeah, well, Naturals. You think the output of that?
Oh,
that band. I know, you know, they had this, that, and the other guy, but that's gonna happen. But I mean, the output, the kind of songs they were putting out, you know, great songs.
Heck of a lot.
He wrote great songs.
Yeah.
Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favourites. Something, you know, all of the George ones I was a big fan of.
Well, I mean, the thing like Guitar Gently Weeps is not, the chords aren't too hard, so people can get to that, you know, in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. And
you know, they get the melodies a bit harder, but it's not too bad. You know, so it's great.
Yeah.
That people, you know, they can still with that come out whistling the tune.
Yeah, exactly.
And not the production.
And that's the thing. That is the thing. I would say with all music, it's all about the tune and something that's catchy. And if you've got that style and if you've got that ability to turn something fairly mundane into something interesting, you've got it.
Well, that's why I think with you know, with John Barry, I mean, he just, you know, it was a kind of a glib thing. I mean, that tune almost didn't get written because it was just, you fancy doing this little thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was actually, and it's done me again. I'm sorry, the the pianist actually wrote the theme.
Right. Wow.
Because the Observer, I think, got sued sideways over saying that he didn't, and it was.
No.
But it says if you look at the end of every, title role, you'll see it at the bottom. It says written by Harry somebody. I forgot his name now. Sorry, that's where you get.
That's okay. I'll look it up.
But he's written that, and obviously he's made fortunes out of it.
Yeah.
But there was him and Vic, and they all were just playing bits. John Barry said to the pianist, said, "Play me something dangerous."
Yeah, love it, love it.
So a ding dong, ding dong.
That's great.
Can you get
Absolutely great.
What a thing.
Yeah.
Play me something dangerous. All right. And that was it. And that's gone on. I mean, when I started doing that, I was 18.
Wow.
And Vic had left
Yeah.
to go to America.
Yeah.
And that was like 12, 14 years. I think I've done 9 of the films. And of course we went out as a band.
Yeah.
It's just, great.
It is great. Absolutely amazing.
But to have see those times where they change,
Yeah.
And I mean the next band I joined was Georgie Fame.
Wow.
Which is which is
He
incredible.
was huge. He was huge in the UK.
Well,
Big,
he was
big.
he played great R&B, and the band was well on.
And you enjoyed that? I
Yeah,
bet.
and we used to play with the Butterfield Blues Band.
Right.
Paul Butterfield.
Wow.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. What a player, So that was all, that was all when things weren't so hidden away from each other, it's like managers, not managers, sorry, we're not, no disrespect, but now we're like always on the he'll get back to you, the answer phone.
Yeah.
When I phoned up for the job for John Barry, they put the number in the melody maker. The guy said, "Oh yeah, because Vic Flick's leaving us," and I thought, sitting in my little office doing nothing, flicking, paper bands and stuff, and I saw the number. I just phoned up and said,
And it was him.
"Yeah, I can do it." Yeah, it was him. I said, "I can do it." He said, "Well, come down and see you in about 4 days at the something hall in Archway." Lucky I live around there.
Yeah.
I took off the day. I said I felt ill, and I asked my dad, and he bought me the records.
Oh.
So it's so cool. And I didn't think for a few years afterwards that my little dance set, which used half of our, could possibly be playing out of tune. The prospect of that is very likely, but it wasn't, and it didn't. But I didn't think about it. But when I thought about it, I went over in a big cold sweat, thinking it could have all been in E flat. It would have been.
Oh, no.
It would have been bad.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we just got on the audition and played the tune. They put the music up. Well, I just looked at the title and just played it.
Wow.
That was it. And 2 days later, I said, "Well, you better come round and ask my mum and dad, make sure it's." They came around and said, "Look, he wants to go on the road. With us, we'll take care of it." And they were older than me, and there wasn't any drugs or anything in it.
No.
They were really nice guys.
Yeah.
And they really, I grew up in about a month,
Right.
with these guys. And they came round, they were really, really nice, had a cup of tea. And my mum liked them, my dad liked them. So I was
That's
on
it.
2 days later, out. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh.
No idea. But, it
Wow.
was great.
But a real nice experience across the board. And what would you say was your favourite experience so far of all of them that you've had?
Well, I have to. It's difficult. If it's favourite because it's it's like, my stuff or that was directly connected. I'd say my favourite album is the RMS album, Rainbow and Simon, which people know about, which we just did in the weekend.
Wow.
Because Ylle and Glazers, Ylle was finished 3 days early, and we had 3 days studio time.
So you just used
Trident, yeah.
Wow.
It was just there, and
that is great.
And because Greg Walsh said, "Look, we've got 3 days. Do you want to do anything?" He said, "Have you got any tunes?" "Oh yeah, got loads of tunes." Went off that night. We were like up all night,
writing.
Little bits of. Got a cassette here going. Oh yeah, okay, a bit of that. Well, I mean, it was great, and we came back the next day with the tunes, like more or less. We'll just we'll get them into a sort of groove, and we'll sort out the bits and later, and it was great.
Wow.
So that was one of my favourites. The other favourite of, I suppose, me is first working at the A&M studio, which is the old Charlie Chaplin soundstage.
Oh.
All wood,
Oh, wow.
And we signed with each other in the middle of the fall, doing a really nice album called Symbiosis.
Amazing writer, by the way, Charlie Chaplin. Smile, one of my favourite ever numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's underrated because people think it's just funny, but it's not.
But it's brilliant. And also the arranger that worked on that came up with some incredible chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love, it was great. It's great. I mean, that was a nice thing. It was a sort of, sort of like you're paying homage, It's brilliant. It used to be A&M, and they had one of the old Neves in from Montserrat.
Big this.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, we just went through back of Yuri limiters.
Yeah.
And into the desk.
Right.
And then into the...
Straight into the tape.
Into the multi-track.
Yeah.
And we had 2 going, the old
so it was one. Pretty much a live take.
Wow. Straight in.
That's my favourite.
Yeah.
My favourite way of recording is to do it live. And then maybe some overdubs.
Yeah, if you want to tweak it afterwards.
Yeah, a bit of tweaking.
Once you say you've done it, it's like...
Yeah.
At
the end of the day, music is live.
Yeah.
You want to go and see a live band.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to record.
It's also, once you're going to just go for it, there's a different, emotional kind of thing in passion. You know you're going to go for it, and you do it. If you've got the ability to stop and redo it, it's good in some ways, but I don't care if a note isn't right. If it goes through and I've just got to repair that note or, repair the solo or whatever. But to get the groove, to get it all right, everybody together emotionally.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's a gel, isn't it, with the band. It's definitely a gel. And I'm guessing that you've always really worked with bands. It sounds like you do a lot of stuff with the band in the room, which is the great way of recording. Nowadays it's a bit of a shame because a lot of it is done solo and built up track by track, and you just don't get that feel and that groove.
Well, it was someone, I won't mention, he said, what we're going to do, we're all going to play the track down together, and then we'll just keep the click going, and then we're going to take all the instruments off, just keep the click going, and then we'll overdub them. He said that means all we'll be left with is a feel and the click. And I thought, this is great.
I love it.
It's such a good one. Everybody was like falling about. What did I say? What? But no, of course that wasn't. We realised that wasn't the case, which is good actually.
Yeah.
But it's fun. No, it's nothing like playing live. I mean, it's great, and people picking up instruments. The first thing they do, is do that.
Yeah, of course, and that's the way it goes. So, I think you've had a really glittery, amazing career, I could talk to you for hours and hours, but I hope we can do this again and we can talk about some more of your stories. But thanks so much, Ray, for coming over today.
It's a pleasure.
It's been great chatting with you.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
really, really cool. So check out rayrussell.com. You will be amazed at the people that we haven't even mentioned that he's worked with. And Ray is a really amazing player. You can see him on the British Boutique Guitar Festival, where he played all the acoustic guitars for me, which was amazing. And check out his website, because I'm sure you will really love it. Okay, I'll be back with the best content I can, just as soon as I can. But in the meantime, from me and from Ray, you guys take good care.